Hey guys, welcome back to my daily news X, where we break down the biggest stories shaping our world today. Well, I'm your host Kramer, and this is the day that many thought would never come. After 2 long years of war, heartbreak, and uncertainty. So Hamas has officially released the last 20 Israeli hostages, marking what appears to be the final chapter in one of the most devastating conflicts of our time. This historic breakthrough didn't come easy. The deal announced earlier today from Cairo, Egypt, was the result of months of back and channel diplomacy, international pressure, and what the Trump administration is calling the most complex peace negotiation in modern history. So Mr. President Donald Trump, alongside Egyptian and Qatari mediators, played a central role in bringing both sides to the table. So according to the officials, the peace accord was finalized after a series of secret meetings in which Hamas agreed to release the remaining hostages in exchange for the gradual lifting of certain blockades and the release of hundreds of Palestinian detainees held by Israel. The road to this point has been grueling. Since the conflict erupted 2 years ago, more than 20,000 lives have been lost. Entire cities were reduced to rubble, and both nations have suffered immense emotional and economic scars. But today, in Cairo, we witness something different, something rare. Leaders from both sides, Israel and Palestine, shaking hands as a symbolic image that may go down in history as the first steps toward fragile but hopeful peace. I'm very happy for them. So, what exactly are the conditions set on this ceasefire? Because that's something that I want to talk about so you can understand better what are the set lines and readiness as well as the red lines. So here's what we know so far. All Israeli hostages have been returned home safely. In return, Israel has agreed to release roughly 500 Palestinian prisoners, many of whom were detained during the early stages of the war. Number two, a demilitarized zone is being established along parts of Gaza's northern borders, monitored by UN and Egyptian peacemakers. Reconstruction aid will flow into Gaza, but this time under strict international supervision to ensure it goes to rebuilding homes, schools, and hospitals, and no weapons. Both sides have pledged to hold missile testing and border incursions on the threat of renowned sanctions, which is great, by the way. I think it's awesome. Now, for many families, today is a bittersweet relief. Tears of joy are being shed in Tel Aviv and Ramallah alike. But behind every smile is a memory of loss, a reminder that peace often comes at the cost of pain. And while this agreement doesn't erase years of mistrust or suffering, it does offer a blueprint for what's possible when diplomacy wins over destruction. So we need to learn from this, guys. Now, what can we learn from this? Well, dialogue matters, even when it seems impossible. The Trump administration, criticized for its unconventional style, managed to leverage the relationship between regional powers to push both sides towards a deal. Second, conflict exhaustion is real. I mean, after 2 years, it's unending violence. I mean, it gets tiring, on both sides, military and economic wise. Neither side could afford to keep fighting. The economic collapse, international isolation, and internal dissent created pressure for diplomacy finally turned into progress. And lastly, peace requires patience. No deal is perfect, and experts warn that the truth could unravel if extremists on either side act out. But for now, the guns are silent, and that's something worth of celebrating. As the sun rises over the Middle East, we are reminded that even in the darkest conflicts, hope can survive. The release of the final hostages mark not just the end of the war, but perhaps the beginning of a new chapter for both Israelis and Palestinians alike. We'll continue following the rebuild efforts and political aftermath in the coming weeks, so please stay tuned right here on my Daily News X for more updates, insights, and the stories that shape tomorrow's headlines. Until next time, please stay informed, stay compassionate, and keep thinking beyond the noise. Have yourself a great day.